to order. Clerk Barger, if you will, call the roll, please.
Master Combs?
Here.
Master Barger?
Here.
Master Tudor?
Here.
Master Bocking?
Present.
Judge Taylor?
Here. At this time, I'd like to invite Tim Lawson up from River of Life Church to lead us in a word of prayer. Appreciate you being here today.
Amen. You have to excuse my voice. I'm a little hoarse today, like all of us are, I think, from the weather. Let's pray. Heavenly Father, I come to you, the one who has all wisdom and all knowledge in all things, and the one who, according to the psalmist, made the heavens and laid out the earth by wisdom, and who by wisdom made the sun to rule by day and the moon and stars to rule at night. Father, I pray this morning that according to that wisdom, you would grant every official in this room the ability to make the best decisions possible for the people of Madison County and the people that they serve. I pray Madison County will continue to grow and thrive because of the wisdom you provide in this meeting today. I appeal to you, Father, to grant these individuals your matchless grace and wisdom and understanding this morning. And I'll never cease to thank you and to pray for our lawmakers and officials, for this great country and our great commonwealth, for our governmental systems and structures, and the great people of Madison County. By your sovereign grace, keep us, God, and grant these things this morning, I pray in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Thank you. Sheriff, if you will, lead us in the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please be seated.
Thanks, Sheriff. Guys, y'all have had a chance to look at the minutes from the previous meeting. At this time, I need a motion and a second to approve those.
So moved. Second.
No discussion. Call the roll, please.
Master Combs?
Yes.
Master Barger?
Yes.
Master Tudor?
Yes.
Master Bocking?
Yes.
Judge Taylor?
Yes. Next is the treasurer's report. Where Glenna couldn't be here. She's giving us April's report today. So thanks, Glenna.
I apologize, I wasn't here at the last meeting. The report that's in your Dropbox goes through 3/31/2017. Our total fund balance is $8,241,728.24. Through March 31st, 2017, our general fund receipts are at 64.73%. Our expenditures are at 44.27%. Our road fund receipts are at 83.96%. Our expenditures are at 61.28%. Our jail fund is at 74.26% revenues, and the expenditures are at 74.21% on your expenditures. CSEP is 9.72% revenues, 9.19% expenditures. And our 911 fund, our receipts are at 80.34%, and our expenditures are at 61.11%.
When did you say that was through, Glenna?
3/31.
3/31. So that's
So
three.
next court, I will have the April 30th report.
Yep. So that's three quarters. That's
Yes,
quarters.
it's 75% way
Yep.
through the year.
Yep.
Does anybody have any questions? This is available to the public if anyone would like a copy of it.
Yep. Thanks, Glenna.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it. First order of business today is I'm going to ask the court's permission to amend the agenda for an appointment to the Valley View Authority Board. So I need a motion and a second to amend the agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Call the roll, please.
Master Barger?
Yes.
Master Tudor?
Yes.
Master Bocking?
Yes.
Master Combs?
Yes.
Judge Taylor?
Yes. I'm just going to go ahead and do that while we're at this. I would like the court to appoint Melinda Jones to the Valley View Authority Board. This replaces a long-serving member of Dr. Murphy. Do you remember, Roger, you know how many years he served?
Better than 20.
Yeah. So,
I know Dr. Murphy celebrated a 84th birthday this past week.
yeah.
84 years, and he's still practicing dentistry.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Yep. Amazing gentleman.
Yeah, he is. So if you all do approve Melinda Jones to the Valley View Authority Board, I need a motion and a second.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second
No discussion, call the roll.
Master Tudor?
it. Yes.
Master Bocking?
Yes.
Master Combs?
Yes.
Master Barger?
Yes.
Judge Taylor?
Yes. Next on the agenda is the second reading of Ordinance 1703. It's the Madison County Administrative Code. Okay, we'll move on to appointment. We'll come back to that. Next is appointment to road commissioner. This is, upon court's approval, would like to reappoint Jimmy Parsons as road commissioner. Obviously, we just appointed him to road commissioner just a few months ago, but obviously he was just fulfilling somebody else's term, so that term is up. So Jimmy Parsons sort of represents this southern end of the county.
Judge, I move we appoint Jimmy as the road commissioner.
Second that.
No discussion? Call the roll, please.
Master Botkin?
Yes.
Master Combs?
Yes.
Master Parker? Yes. Mr. Tudor?
Yes.
Judge Taylor?
Yes. Next is I want to have a discussion today about the detention center revenues, of a possible way of increasing those revenues. Of course, Doug's here.
I'll come up, answer any questions.
Sure. Be great, Doug. Thanks. So Doug and I have been working on maybe some ideas and ways to increase the revenues. Doug's staff gave me some different breakdowns of different counties that are actually charging, well, even just what their fees are, whether that's booking fee or whether that's even a per diem fee, so which is a per day fee of stay at a detention center. I called 3 different county judges, and one of the counties I actually talked to the jailer as well, just because I'm curious of what the collection rate is, you know, what's their success rate of how they collect. Of the 3 that I called, Clark County, they charge a $40 booking fee and $10 a day per diem. Simpson County charges a $55 booking fee and a 30-day per diem. Barron County charges a $35 booking fee and a 36-day per diem. And of those, Clark County had the highest collection rate of 60% of those fees. And that's at $10 a day. Simpson County, they charge $30 a day, and they only bring in, they said it was they only collect $85,000 of that a year. It's math's hard to do, $30 a day times the inmates, but I think it was, when I did the math, it was like $300-something thousand they should be collecting, and they're only collecting $85,000. So to me, that was maybe too high. Clark County at $10 a day, it would generate the county, if our county could collect 60% of the $10 a day, we would generate about $788,400 to go towards the revenues of the jail. On the booking fees, if we collected 60%, that would generate us about $132,720. I had the jail also get me how many bookings that we've had this previous year, and from April 1st, 2016 to April 1st, 2017, we had 5,530 bookings. And at $20 a day, we should be bringing in about $110,000 a year in that revenue line item, and I think we're only bringing in, well, I know in this coming budget year, we're only putting $39,000 in that line item.
What percentage of collection would that be?
It'd be probably around a little less than 40%, is what that collection would be. So I really just want to open it up for discussion from you guys to see what our potential opportunities are is to increase the revenues. Obviously 60% at $10 a day, that's a pretty big number that would go to help us quite a bit with our jail budget. I think right now this year, I think we had put about 1.7 million in the jail fund to make the budget balance. I believe it was right. Yep, 1.753 million is what we transferred from other funds, which is the general fund. So, I mean, I want to open it up. Let's see what your all's thoughts are.
How do you collect that money if they say they're not gonna pay it?
Clark County uses a Pay My Jailer. It's a collection agency, and Doug uses them I think somewhat here. I
Well, yeah.
know Mark uses them in some of your collections as well.
There is a company called Advent FS, I think it stands for Financial Services, that provides a lot of different internet-based applications to assist the courts and other agencies nationwide. I've been a customer of this company since I've been in office. They're pretty creative, and they discovered indeed years ago to help jailers, and so that's where this Pay My Jailer came from. I think Clark County may have been the first county in the state that developed and used this program. I don't know all the details as to how they charge percentages of collection and so forth, but it seems to have been quite successful in other counties. Of course, the more information they get, the more they're able to collect, and so it's important to have a good flow, between your agencies and Advent. But that's authorized by statute to be able to do that. Larry, obviously, you can't collect them all. Some people you just can't collect from, period. Some folks are indigent to where you can't even attempt beyond the initial letter phase to try to collect them. But I do think that there's some additional revenue out there that you could obtain by doing this.
The reason I asked that was, if they don't pay, we sure don't need to give them no more time, because
No, you cannot, they would be sentenced by the court to pay these if they're able to. But again, there's a whole lot of folks that just don't have the means, and you can't further punish someone for not being able to pay to begin with. Some folks have a work program to help them work off some of those fees, which I think is kind of similar to what we do with our fines and court costs, which we've got a number of folks out doing community service along those ways. Every county is different. We have more interstate, I guess, more 75 than any other county in the state. I think as a result of that, a lot of our population are from folks that don't live in Madison County. I think that poses a challenge for collection. I don't know whether 60% is attainable or not, but I do think there's opportunity out there, and the way to find out is to discuss it and try it and see if it's beneficial. And I don't offer my advice on policy decisions a whole lot because I just don't find that my purpose. I do think, though, if you choose to do this, that starting with a reasonable, a smaller figure would probably be more beneficial than trying to impose a large figure that you would have a great deal of difficulty in collecting. That'd be my 2 cents.
One of the things, when I talked to the Barron County Judge Executive, I asked him, what about the ones that don't pay? And he was very blunt and said, we don't give them a choice not to pay. That's not even on the table. Now, what programs, what model they've implemented in Barron County, I don't know. He did say they have work programs that they partner with local businesses to work that time off. So, I don't know if that person has to go work it off, and then whatever that business would have paid them goes back and reimburses the county. I don't know. I thought you were raising your hand. Oh, okay.
What I was gonna ask is the commissary program. Can we take those fees out of their commissary money, before they can buy other things, they have to pay those fees?
That's something that we'd have to look into. I wouldn't want to answer that right now. I don't know for sure.
The statute does provide for that, but as far as the priority, I don't know. For instance,
Yeah.
can you charge them before they start using it, or just charge the excess? I'm not clear on that,
We
but.
have family members bringing in $100 for them to buy a candy and stuff, but can we take those fees out of that money?
Well, the only I know you can do it. Statutorily, that's permitted. The question is whether or not that they get to spend that money on whatever it is that they hope to, and then you can charge and bill against whatever's left. I'm not for sure. Because, if the folks here that just as soon as you deposit $100 in somebody's books, if they're gonna grab it real quick and put it on your per diem, they're just not gonna bring that money, would be my guess.
Well, they still look candy.
Yeah, what we do now is our system, jail tracker is tied in with Pay My Jailer. So what we do now, if you bring, let's say you owe $50, you bring $100 up there, then our system takes half of that automatically. If you put $100 on, the system's gonna take half. They can't say, I'll give you $10 on that, no, it's gonna take half of that.
And what we deal with, this is the way that people do us, is that they'll come in and put it on somebody else's books that's in the same sale with that person. It's kind of like cat and mouse game. And we try to catch them because they'll put it on John's when David owes, you know, so sometimes we catch it, sometimes we don't. That's the way they work us, try to work us, you know, but again, our system will take half of that money that they do owe. And again, what's left, pay my jailer goes up there and tries to get that money for us. And like Mark said, if you don't have it, you can't get it. But we do get some monies, and that's why I tell people, you know, just come in, you know, I'll work with you, you pay on this, and then we'll go from there.
But right now, that's just on a booking fee because we don't have a per diem.
Right.
And I think the question now is to whether or not that you want to revisit the amount of the booking fee, and most importantly, whether or not that you want to consider a per diem. You can actually try to collect medicals, dental, other type of expenses like that too. And of course, that's a challenge because the amounts get to be so great at times. But it's permissible to do it.
I think the statute says that you charge up to $50 a day. I'm 99.9% sure.
I think that's right.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even attempt to get anywhere near that close, but I do think that the statute.
Oh, no, I'm not
I think the statute allows for it.
insinuating that whatsoever, because I mean, I think the ones that I called, I mean, right now, there's 9 different counties that the jail reached out to and got their costs, and 6 of them actually charge a per diem. 3 of them do not. And obviously, some of them, looks like 2 of those, or 3 of those are $10 a day. One of those is $12 a day, and then you have the Simpson County at 30 and Barron at 36. So.
Judge, I'm very much in favor of looking at all the options we have to collect some money for jail fund, and you know, I'm like Mr. Robbins over here. I think we need to keep it low enough that we're going to get a large percentage, or going to be able to pay it. And but I'm also for this work release program. You know, if they can't pay it, put them out there and let them work $10 a day off. You know, and that's some way to gain a little bit back from them, and it looks good for the community. They're out there picking up trash or weed eating around the intersection and so forth. So that's an option we got through the work program.
But Mark, with that work program, I mean, as far as if they did owe it and we started that work program, I mean, that would have to be something that I would assume the judges would somewhat be in favor of as well, because how can you, unless a judge court orders
I
that
think
person
so.
to-
So I think that what we would need to do would be just to kind of broaden our program right now that deals with the fine and court costs, and just give folks an option to pay, and in the event they don't, then they can work it off. Of course, at the end of the day, if somebody's not willing to work and they don't have the financial means, I mean, I'm not certain, I think you said Barron County says that there's not an option.
Yeah, that's
a
his
little-
words.
There could be a little pride in that statement, I don't know.
Yeah.
But I do think you've got opportunities to do that. I would not imagine a situation where there could be a partnership with private entities, which I think that he had kind of mentioned to you. I think it'd have to be community partners rather than those in commerce, but we can certainly address everything.
Yeah.
But I do think it'd be important to get the judges involved.
And one of the things too, I think part of this too is maybe a perception where maybe our rates are low in collection. You know, if you're not made to pay, then who's gonna pay? I mean, if you're not made to pay and there's no consequences for not paying, I mean, if all you get is a letter from a pay my jailer collection agency that says you owe this and you have to pay, but yet you don't ever pay and nothing ever happens, then who is gonna pay? And I would think that there's probably some of those same types of communication or discussion inside the jail that an inmate says, well, does anybody ever pay their booking fees? And somebody says, well, no, I don't ever pay. Was anything ever happened? No, nothing's ever happened to me. They send me some letter saying that I have to pay it, but I don't ever pay it. You know, and so I think there has to be some type of, a little bit of enforcement, or there has to be some type of consequence for not paying.
And the statute actually allows you to bring a civil lawsuit against these folks that don't pay, but then you have to examine the resources that you're going to spend trying to collect those compared to your likelihood of success.
Well, you're a free service, aren't you?
Yeah.
Huh?
absolutely.
For us?
Yeah.
The county?
If-
I mean, aren't you free?
We're
I'll
paying.
take 2 or 3 people off of what they do right now to have them start, suing folks for these $10 fees, and yeah.
I think he just volunteered you, Mark. I'm not sure.
But sometimes I feel like I'm volunteering anyway.
Yeah.
These collection agencies, Judge, the people that can't pay or don't pay, do they have the ability to put a lien on their property after their sentence is over and try to collect that way?
I don't believe that would be permissible, again, because you're gonna have a great deal of people that just can't afford to pay. And you can't punish those, when you can't treat people differently because they're wealthy or they're poor. And I think that folks that don't reach the poverty limit, or they don't exceed the poverty limit, I think it's very limited as to what you can do.
Now, the collection agencies do charge, I'm not sure exactly what the fee is, but they either charge a percentage on top of the fees they're trying to collect, or they charge a fee of that, what they collect.
Yeah, I'm not for sure. I think it's just like if you owed a $20 booking fee, once the pay by jailer gets there, and I don't know for exactly the number, they may charge 25 or 40 bucks. I really don't know, but it's close to that area.
Yeah.
So you'll pay us $60. If you owe 20, you're going to end up paying $60.
Yeah.
What about when they bond out of jail, would there be a way to get the money if they bond out?
No, the bond is just to ensure further appearances, and there won't be any violations while they're out. You can
As
get
far as
that
I'm concerned,
only,
it's already a violation when they don't pay their fees.
well, no, a criminal violation,
Okay.
criminal violation.
We check the air conditioning.
Well, we got several in there right now.
Seems to be cold in here. We
Failure
check
to
see.
pay, right? They got jail time again, right?
Failure to pay
Or
what?
fine.
They're very, very few, because we try to utilize our program to get those folks out, get them working. We actually, now.
Probably most of that's probably child support.
Well, the child support you can't work off, you can't lay
I
out. There's
know.
not many child support cases over there, maybe, I don't know, 20 or 30 out of 400.
Probably something like that. I
Yeah,
haven't
it's a
looked,
very,
but
it's a
yeah.
very small figure. We try to do everything in the world to utilize our enforcement tools without incarcerating. It's kind of the worst that wind up in that situation, but there's a few.
So it sounds like collectively, everybody's, I mean, in agreement with this. I think what we'll do is, Doug, is maybe we'll go back between now and next court and put something together in a resolution, and then we can present it to the next court. Is that
That's fine.
good with everybody?
Yes.
Any other discussion on this topic? All right, thanks, appreciate it. All right, I think Rachel's here now, so we'll back up and catch the second reading of ordinance 1703, the Madison County Administrative Code. Rachel, if you will, if you want to come up to the podium.
Good morning. All righty. So there was really only a few changes. Most of it was clarification from Magistrate Bakken from the last meeting, so thank you for that. There's only a couple, let's see here. So on page 44, in section 4.8, we changed that all airfare reservations will be booked at the lowest coach fare, just for more clarification. And then on page 50, in section 5.8, for the fire department, it's just adjusting how holiday time is paid out, where it's paid out on the holiday, beginning July 1st, but then people are grandfathered in who are still currently employed till January 1st. And then on page 57, in section 5.15, blood donation leave, it just states, in the event Madison County Fiscal Court wishes to participate in a blood drive and an employee's incentive is wished to be given, it shall be presented to Fiscal Court as a resolution. Other than that, that's it.
What about the discussion for the procedure change on how reimbursement for travel is addressed?
That's all done in the financial manual, and that's where it was changed.
Okay.
Yeah. and on the jot form.
Good. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And did y'all understand what she was saying about the fire department's, holiday pay? Is that right? Holiday?
Their holiday leave, yeah.
Do y'all understand that?
Well, so that we're sure that we understand it, why don't you go ahead and explain it to us?
Well, right now, the way the fire department, all firefighters get 13,
However many holidays there are in the year.
they get it as of
upfront
January.
On January 1st.
January.
For them to spend it at their leisure throughout the year. But that doesn't account whether they leave early, like leave during the year, retire early, anything like that. Then they pretty much use that holiday time that they weren't there for. So that's just adjusting that process to where it's fair for all employees.
Yeah, they're getting it, but they're just not getting it until that holiday happens versus getting 13 holidays January 1st.
They will get paid as that day,
Just like the.
just how every other department does,
Mhm.
correct?
Seems fair.
Yep.
So second reading, any comments from the audience? Anybody from the public wish to address this?
One of these days, I'm gonna remember that, Mark.
Oh, you don't have to.
Yeah. You might not be around forever, though.
That's
You know?
very likely. Yeah.
If there's no more discussion, I have a motion and a second to approve the second reading of 1703 Madison County Admin Code.
Move to approve.
Second.
No discussion, call the roll, please.
Master Combs?
Yes.
Master Barger?
Yes.
Master Tudor?
Yes.
Master Backus?
Yes.
Judge Taylor?
Yes, thanks, Rachel, appreciate it. Next is personnel, Madison County Fire Department hires. Chief, if you will come up, present, please.
Good morning. I'm here today to present 4 people to be hired by the fire department. 2 will come in as a rate of a firefighter 2, that is Mr. Robert Harrison and Mr. Thomas Bailey at $7.50 an hour, and their start dates will be 5/17. And then we have 2 that we're recommending coming in as a firefighter 4, both pay rate at $9 an hour. That's Mr. Landon Weaver and Mr. Lincoln Arnold. Mr. Weaver's start date would be the same, 5/17. However, Mr. Arnold's would be 6/5 because his present employer requires a 3-week notice to get him clear there.
What's the difference in a firefighter 2 and a 4?
A 2 is it's just it's the difference in where they're certified at. A 2 is the base rate firefighter, got 400 hours of training, which is considered a career firefighter by the state of Kentucky. The 4s have their IFSAC 1 and 2 and their instructor. So they'd be at a higher rate of pay on our classification schedule.
So 2 of these have that.
Yes, sir. The 2 that are coming in, both have their IFSAC 1 and 2, their hazmat ops and awareness, and their IFSAC instructor.
And that's what a firefighter 3 is. They have the IFSAC 1 and 2,
Yeah,
and then the hazmat ops, and then they move to 4 when they have their instructors.
that's correct.
Chief, would you kind of tell us how many applications you received on this?
We've received 40 applications on this.
40?
40, yes, sir, on this. We went through, we interviewed we extended interviews to the top 10 candidates that had training, because where we're at right now is we need folks that have training. We've got 4 firefighters that are presently in the process of being trained that are considered firefighter 1s. So I felt like at this time it'd be a little prudent to try to hire as well-trained candidates as we could find. So we extended interviews to 10. We interviewed 6, Rachel?
7.
We interviewed 7, and then we come with the top 4 candidates that we felt would fit our department.
I kind of have some concerns about, we got 4 candidates here, and none of them live in the state, or in the county, and one of them's even out of the state of Kentucky. So I I feel like we need to open it up and try to get some more applications, and interview some more people.
There was 14 candidates from in Madison County. Of those 14, we went back and did a prudent check on those. What it gets down to is basically, I cannot hire anybody unless they have their CPAC card, which is their candidate physical agility test. If they do not possess that, we cannot hire them. They can't come in for training. They have to have that card first. Out of those 14, we had 4 that did have their CPAC card already, besides these 4 that we're recommending today. These are the 14 that lived in Madison County out of those 40 applications. 4 had their CPAC card, but they had no fire department training. We had 5 that had training of some sort. One candidate was a 400-hour candidate, but, excuse me, let me back up. 4 have their CPAC card but no training. 5 have some training but no CPAC card. So I can't do anything with those guys until they get their CPAC card. One of those that did not have a CPAC card was a 400-hour firefighter, and he is in the process of attempting to obtain his CPAC card at this time. We had 1 person that was no longer interested in the position. We had 3 that we left messages for, got no return phone calls. We did interview 1 candidate from in the county, and we chose to pass on him due to some other circumstances at this time.
The candidates you had with the CPAC training, how many more hours of training would they need before you could actually use those?
They have to, if we hire, any candidate we hire, if they do not have their 400 hours of training, we have to get them their 400 hours of training within 1 year. That's required by the state.
Did some of them have hours built up toward that 400 hours?
Some of them did. Out of the 14 that we had was in the county, like I said, 5 of them had training. Only 1 of them was a 400-hour firefighter. I think the other 2 had very, very little training. I think 1 of them was real close to his 150-hour mark, which is considered a volunteer firefighter through the state of Kentucky. So they just, right now, they wouldn't fit what we need to do. We're getting ready to lose a lot of folks, a lot of our very experienced firefighters, and we're going to be a very, very young department. And sometimes in our business, you need the on-the-job training and that experience there. So at least these guys have some experience. One of them is, 2 of them are currently full-time career firefighters in other departments. One of them has been a volunteer in the county for several years, and he's currently on the rolls with one of our volunteer departments at Red Lick. So he's got some experience there. And like I said, he's a 400-hour firefighter. And then there's 1 candidate that is a 400-hour firefighter that's a volunteer in another county. But I think he would, with just getting to understand how we operate, feel comfortable with him in our department.
So for me personally, Chief, I've told every department head in the county at some point in time when they brought people, I don't care who you get, but what I do care that you get the absolute best person that you can when you go after them. And so I think that you may have some inherent problems that you may have to deal with. You may face them, you may not. You know, I don't know the answer to that, but get the best people you can.
That's what we're shooting to do. So and we still have to come back and do some other hiring. We're still going to lose some more, I think, this year to retirement. So again, this is just the first round. And if we get ahead of this curve a little bit to where we can hire in advance and have the time to spend to get these people training to be able to function on the fire ground, then I don't have a problem hiring people from within Madison County. Just right now, we've got 4 hires right now that we are training, in the process of training. We just need some folks that we don't have to concentrate so much on this training, that we can put with those
You've
guys
got
and
one
keep everybody
candidate.
safe.
You've got 1 candidate from South Carolina. Is he willing to move to Madison?
Yes, he's moved. He's actually from Kentucky, and he has a family farm. I don't know where it's located in Kentucky, so I think he indicated there's some some family medical issues is why he's wanting to come back.
But you say Kentucky, that's not Madison County then?
I don't know that he would be moving to Madison County. I cannot answer that.
Rachel, do you have something?
Just for point of clarification, Mr. Weaver started Deputy March, or May 31st.
Okay,
instead of September.
okay. Yeah, I actually interviewed, actually spoke with all 4 candidates. I'm very excited about what they can bring to Madison County Fire Department. You know, I'm in agreement with Tom. I want the very best. If we can get the best out of Madison County, then yeah, that's a win-win. But where we're at right now with our county fire department, we do need some leadership there because we're losing a lot of our senior leadership. I don't want to get new firefighter ones in a position where they could be in harm's way because they're not trained properly. And I don't want to see one of our constituents' houses burned down because we can't go into a fire because we don't have enough trained firefighters. So,
Well,
I'm
I
for it.
look at it from the fact that our fire chief himself is not in our county as far as living here, and I had an issue with that too. But as far as qualifications goes, he was the man for the job, and I think that's what counts.
Yep. So, all right, do I have a motion, a second, upon Chief Herford's recommendation of these 4 firefighters?
Judge, I'll move that we hire the firefighters as the chiefs presented to us.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
No more discussion, call the roll, please.
Master Barger?
Yes.
Master Tudor?
Because of the distance, some of these guys are gonna travel, East Bernstead, Manchester. I'm voting no on this.
Master Bodkin? Yes. Master Combs?
No.
Judge Taylor?
Yes. Thank you, appreciate it. Next is Resolution 1716. This is City County Blood Drive. Madison County Fiscal Court desires to support the health of Madison County by encouraging blood donations. The Madison County Fiscal Court, seeing the importance of blood donations and wanting to encourage participation in the annual City of Richmond Madison County Blood Drive to be held on May 17, 2017, from 3 to 7 p.m. at the First Christian Church located at 412 West Main Street, Richmond, Kentucky. Now therefore, the Madison County Fiscal Court resolves that Madison County Fiscal Court employees or their proxies who participate in the 2017 City of Richmond, Madison County Blood Drive by donating or attempting to donate blood will receive 2 hours of personal time. This time is in addition to the time authorized under the Madison County Administrative Code. This personnel time will be banked in the employee's personnel leave account and must be used by the end of the calendar year. Any unused time will be swiped from the employee's account on January 1st, 2018. So I need a motion and a second to approve Resolution 1716.
So moved.
Second.
Is there any discussion? If not, call the roll, please.
Master Tudor?
Yes.
Master Bodkin? Yes. Master Combs?
Yes.
Master Barger?
Yes.
Judge Taylor?
Yes. Next was going to be Resolution 1717. I would like to table that to the next meeting. There were some things that came up and we were not quite ready for the classification schedule at this time. Next is first reading of ordinance 1704, jail fund. Glenn?
I'm sorry? At the end of each year, we usually don't do budget amendments unless we absolutely have to until the end of the year. Then I take a look at our revenues and see if anything has gone over. We've gotten unanticipated receipts in, and that's when we can budget amend them in. The first one of the jail fund, we have DUI fees at $3,703, local corrections assistance at $3,998, work release at $11,211, and surplus from prior years $49,483 for a total of $68,395 of unexpected receipts. And we are budget amending those into reserve for transfer. Does anybody have any questions?
Yes. I'd like to know what $11,211 of work release is.
That is our work release line item for the jail, where they pay in to do work release.
I understand that, but who's doing what? We don't have, well, what is our work release
These folks are
program?
working at their private jobs. In order to have the opportunity to do that, they pay a fee because there's more burden on the jail to be able to administer that type of program. So if somebody works at a factory, they have an opportunity with court permission to go out to continue their job. And as a result of that, they pay a fee to the jail.
Are these the guys that are administered through your program?
No, this is private.
Oh,
Somebody
separate.
works at McDonald's.
I see.
He's continuing, he's not having to lose his job.
All right.
As
This is a
result of
revenue
that,
we've
there's a
always
cost
had.
involved, because there's more work on Doug's staff to be able to properly administer that program.
Okay.
They have to check them when they leave. When they come back, they have to check them.
That's all individually court approved. If someone gets a sentence, let's say of 14 days in jail, if they wish to be able to continue at their private job, they can ask for a work release. If the judge grants that, then there's a fee.
So they leave during the work hours and then return?
Absolutely. There are restrictions placed upon them, how to get there, how to get back, their timing, what they can do when they're out of jail. But all those things are monitored, and then, of course, Doug's staff is gonna have to check when they get back. They're gonna have to do all types of things with processing them. So as a result, they charge a fee for that privilege.
On average, Doug, how many do you have on a work release like that?
I mean, it's not enough like it used to be. We used to have a lot on work release. I don't know the average, but that year we used to have quite a few on work release.
Doug, wasn't it to the point at one point in time where you actually had more people wanting it than you all could properly administer it?
Then we had to run.
Yeah.
You know, so we don't have a lot, but we do have some.
Do you have more that's eligible, they just don't have job placements for?
You know, I don't know if we have more that's eligible for that. I won't say probably not. Eligible.
But sound like a good program to me. I mean, if you
We've always had
could
it
put them
for
back on the
50
job and
years.
let them.
Yeah, it's always
serve
been
them.
around, but it's not a program we run. Like you
Yeah.
said, it's something that's court ordered. They have to ask for it.
Right.
They already have the jobs. It's not like we're giving them jobs to go to. It's a job they already have when they go to
Okay.
court.
And we do our, our responsibility is make sure they don't come back in intoxicated or, make sure they come back in what the order says.
We're, in other words, just giving them ability to keep their job while they're incarcerated.
Right, not lose their job.
And then after their sentence is over, they can return back for a full-time position.
I mean, it might be somebody gets a DUI, and so it might be their third DUI, and they've got a job at Hitachi. And so in order for them, they might have to serve 10 days in jail, 30 days in jail, whatever it might be. And so they don't lose their job. They go to work first shift, and then they have to report back. Yeah.
You have to go to work.
$20 a day.
Okay. That's what I was going to know. Any other questions? All right. I need a motion and a second to approve first reading of 1704 jail fund.
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
No discussion, call the roll.
Master Bucking,
Yes.
Master Cole,
Yes.
Master Barger,
Yes.
Master Tudor,
Yes.
Judge Taylor.
Yes. Next is first reading of, can I have my pen? Thank you. First reading of ordinance 1705. This is the road fund. Glenna?
The road fund, we had road federal reimbursement, $15,543. This was actually for Dolesville Crutcher Pike that we didn't have in our original budget. State grants, this was a Bluegrass Ad ADF grant that we didn't have originally budgeted, that come in for $31,194 for a piece of equipment. And then county road aid, we had an additional $71,423 in that. So it totaled $118,160, and we would like to budget amend that into reserve for transfer in the road fund.
What was our equipment piece?
I think we bought a tractor and a bush hog, didn't we? Yeah, the Bluegrass Ad had a grant, and we sent that in, which of course that was, shoot, almost a year ago, I guess.
Yeah.
That's the 31,000?
That's a
7,000.
Yes, usually I wait till the end of the year.
No, the Bluegrass Ad grant was the 31,000.
What was the 71,000?
That's
County
just
road
an
aid.
increase, that's just an increase in the fuel tax.
County road aid, just tell me what it was.
It's the fuel tax, so,
Fuel
you know, county road aid's based off the fuel tax.
We get
And so it's
paid
just,
the last payment of our county road aid in the next fiscal year.
Okay.
So it was for 15-16 county road aid that we don't get paid till August in the 16-17 year. So the number that they give us that we're gonna get in county road aid, that they want us to budget for is never accurate, because you're always gonna get that leftover payment from the prior year. So just about every year, we budget amend in county road aid at the end of the year. And the reason I do it at the end of the year and not as they fall is because we have to advertise for each one of these. It's much cheaper on the county if we do them all at one time and advertise than it is to do them. If we don't need the money directly right then, it's better to do it at the end of the year.
Good.
So the grant from the Bluegrass ad, that was a little less than half the cost of the tractor and bush hog. Am I correct on that?
I think it was more than
No, I
half. I think that total cost was like 43,000. You remember, Scott?
The tractor was actually 43,000, and the bush hog was 12,000.
12,000, yeah.
So it's right around half.
Yeah.
Okay.
But that all went through court, if y'all remember.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I knew we already purchased it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Need a motion?
Please.
Make a motion to accept.
So I got a motion for the first reading of ordinance 1705, road fund. Do I have a second?
Second.
No discussion. Call the roll, please.
Master Cole?
Yes.
Master Barger?
Yes.
Master Tudor?
Yes.
Master Bachman?
Yes.
Judge Taylor?
Yes. I would like to go back and make a point of clarification. Mark, if you can help me with this. When I was reading the resolution 1716, it was in here that the blood drive would be held on May 17, 2017 from 3 to 7 p.m. And it's actually May 17, 2017 from 9 to 3 p.m. So do we need to re-vote that, or this is a point of
I
clarification?
don't believe so. It's already set up. It's just probably more for informative information
Yeah,
than anything else.
okay. All right, thank you. Next is the judge's report. I do want to announce to the court and to anybody listening that I would like to schedule a work session date for Monday, May 15th at 9:30. That will be this coming Monday in Richmond at the Madison County Courthouse on May the 15th at 9:30. And the work session is to go over our budget, just to discuss our budgets and upcoming fiscal year 17-18. So wanted to make that announcement. There'll be coffee with a cop will be Saturday, May 13th. Anybody interested? That'll be from 8:30 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. at Chick-fil-A in the Richmond Center. The Downtown Richmond Farmers Market Strawberry Festival will be Saturday, May 13th, beginning at 9 a.m. And it's all there on First Street around the courthouse square. The 25th annual Stamp Out Hunger Food Drive will be Saturday, May 13th. This is the U.S. Post Office letter carriers will pick up non-perishable food items at your mailbox. This yearly event helps fight hunger on the local level. So anybody interested in donating some food, just stick non-perishable items there at your mailbox, and those post office workers will pick that up.
And Judge, if you don't mind me jumping in here.
Sure.
They'll also need help in sorting the food. Folks are going to show up at the Baptist Student Union at 3 o'clock.
Okay.
I still think they could use volunteers, and I think the importance of that, besides just getting the work done efficiently, is that folks that show up for a particular agency will help the agency they're working for get a greater percentage of the donated goods. A number of us are going to be working out there for God's outreach.
Okay.
Others are welcome.
Yeah, good.
3 o'clock.
Thanks.
I think it's a good,
And that's the BCM. They're the Eastern Campus Baptist.
Baptist Student Union is what I recall it. I don't know if it's a new name or not.
It
I've
is,
got a
yeah.
logo. All right.
Communities.
It's BCM, Baptist
Baptist
Campus
Campus
Ministries.
Ministries.
Yes,
There you go.
BCM. Mhm. Yep. Thank you. John?
I was just gonna say, I've worked the post office for 30-something years, and every May we picked up canned goods, and I mean, it's a very beneficial to the food bank programs and so forth. I mean, all the rural carriers and city carriers also. So if you've got 3 or 4 extra cans in your cabinet, share a little bit with the needy, and they very much appreciate it.
Yeah, that's good. And that's this Saturday? Yes,
Correct.
this Saturday.
Right.
Yep. Eastern Kentucky University Spring 2017 graduation will be Friday and Saturday, May the 12th and 13th. Please see EKU's website for individual college commencement times and locations. And then also please note there'll be a increased traffic this weekend coming up. So, Berea Community Schools graduation will be conducted at 7 p.m. Friday, May 19th at Berea College's Seabury Center. Madison Central's graduation will be Friday, May 19th at 7 p.m. at EKU Alumni Coliseum, and then Madison Southern's graduation will be at noon on Saturday, May the 20th at EKU Alumni Coliseum as well. The last day of school for Madison County Schools will be Friday, May the 19th. And then always remember to check us out on our website for job postings or any kind of information at www.madisoncountyky.us, and then also visit us on our channel 46 and on Facebook. Comments from department heads? Anybody today? No? All right. Comments from magistrates? Raj?
Well, I thought the chief was gonna have to bring some of the fire department in, because we're gonna have to build a fire to keep them freezing to death.
It's cold.
I think it's maybe gonna cut off for sure, I don't know. It is cooling here. Just wanted to mention about the appointment to the Valley View Ferry Board. This lady grew up near Valley View. Her parents still lives in the area. She now lives on Goggins Lane. But we're looking for people like that that has a concern about Valley View and the Valley View Ferry. They don't have to be from that area. They could have grown up there or whatever, but take anybody from the county that can. I'm still short one Madison County appointee, so I'm still looking for one. Lexington's got one that's getting ready to go off because he's retiring, so I'll still be down 2 people, but still have enough to vote on the board, but makes it short sometimes if somebody can't make a meeting. So anybody that's interested, just give me a call. It's 661-1086. Something else about the Valley View Ferry, we've been working on this for probably a year now. We've got a little grant. We've already got one of the boats in place. There's 2 lifeboats, Coast Guard requirement that we have at least 1 lifeboat according to how many people you carry. We thought it was best to go ahead and get the other boat since we can get the grant money to do it, simply because if there's enough people in 3 cars or 3 vehicles, they all not going to get in one boat anyway, you know, and you could run into that. Access to the boat is another thing. We can use the other side of the ferry paddle boat to set this other boat up. But they're real nice boats and they're brand new. We even had push bumpers put on the front of them before we ever put them in place, simply because when we are changing out the barge or working on it, we have to push it around with a smaller boat because it won't steer the old one we talked about. Other than that, I'm doing okay, Judge.
Good. Appreciate it, Raj. John?
Just one announcement here, Judge. USDA, Department of Agriculture is taking applications for the recent storm damage on March the 1st. Those applications can be submitted at the Farm Service Agency on Appleton Boulevard from May 1st to June the 14th. And those are for anyone that has land or farms that was damaged by the March 1st windstorm damage. They also ask that if you wish to apply for those applications, do not start your project until you get clarification through them first. So your project will be accepted there. That's about all I have, Judge.
All right. Thanks, John.
Judge, I want to just start by thanking the State Road Department. I told you at the last court there that I had gone around with their superintendent and had several projects that we picked out and things that needed addressing, trees getting ready to fall down, stuff like that. And you know, as I go back around and follow them up, they either call me or I can see where they've done those work on those things, and I certainly appreciate their assistance on that. Same thing along with Willie and Scott and your guys down there. You know, we've had projects that's needed doing. We call you down there, and it might not get done that day or the next day, but I go back and follow up, and it's done. And we certainly appreciate it, and our constituents appreciate that. So thank all of your men for us. The Kingston Bridge is coming right along. It's completely down now, and they're starting on putting that back up. Rain slowed them up a little bit, but progress is being made out there, and so that's a good thing. And another thing, Judge, this past week we lost another young man here in Berea. And, you know, I've said this several times, and, you know, I don't know what the end of this is. This drug problem is just horrid. It's just absolute terrible. These young people, and it's not just young people. There's no faction, if you will, of society that is not touched by the drug problem. I mean, it's everybody. Doug can tell you that. He sees it every single day over in the jail. But the one thing that I have mentioned, and I just want to make sure that it gets out once again, and that is that if you have a family member or a friend or somebody that you care about and they have a drug problem, you know, there is a treatment, it's called Vivitrol. It's an opium blocker. I've talked to medical professionals who've said that it's not a 100% cure for everybody, but I'm just telling you, if we save one, then it's done a good thing. It's expensive, but if you want information about that and you can't get it through the health department, you can call me at 200-9765. I'll be more than happy to give you the information that I know about that, put you in contact with somebody that can give you some information about that. But, I mean, I've said it before. Go ahead.
I will say something. I talked to a girl the other day, and this is where I'm going with the drugs. That
Hey, Doug, come up here.
she had, I don't know how long she'd been out of jail, not long, but she'd went to court and got probation. But she sat on the porch the other day and told me that she sits there with, and I asked her, I said, you gonna be able to complete this program, stay clean? And she looked at me and said, no. And I said, why do you think that? She said, because I'm an addict. Well, here's what she said she does. That she has this syringe full of heroin right there, ready to shoot it up. And she says she sits there and cries about it. Why is she doing it? And don't want to do it. She said, I just cry for several minutes and don't want to do that. And I said, well, why don't you put it away? She says, because I can't. She says, I said, so what do you do with it? She says, well, after I get done crying, I go ahead and shoot up. So that's how bad it is. That's how addictive that it is when they sit there and don't want it and cry about it and still does it. So I just want to share it with you.
I know that the judges in other counties and places that I have talked to about this, and of course, I went to a couple of drug conferences last summer, and it was addressed by a gentleman in the Fifth Circuit, of course, his name was David Tapp, and he said, you know, he's getting remarkable results with it. So for some people, it's going to help them, and it's worth trying. I mean, if it's your life, if it's your loved ones, and I'm at the end of my rope, I'm going to try it. So anyway, just wanted to recommend that. Last thing for me, today is the, let's see, 25th, that'd be the 32nd birthday of my son Daniel. Of course, he's in North Carolina, and he's not going to hear this, but happy birthday, son.
Yeah.
Love you.
Thanks, Tom. Larry?
The two things, Judge, if you would, and I'm talking to the other masters too, you think we could get Kelly from Lexington office over here at our next meeting to sit down and see if we can work out something on getting our prisoners back out, weed eating and picking trash up?
Well, just like I told
I
you.
know he had been sick.
Yeah, he has been. I'm not sure if he's back. I actually reached out to Matt Simpson probably about 2 or 3 weeks ago, talked to him about it. You know, this came up just a couple meetings ago.
Yeah.
You all asked about it, and we're working on seeing potentially who the partners might be, want to be in this program. Worked with Scott on how we would fund the program, what the expense of the program would be. Was actually in a meeting last Monday with Mayor Barnes and Mayor Conley and presented it to them, asked them if they would be interested in it. And I think both of them are interested in hearing about the plan. So right now I'm trying to figure out you know, who's potentially going to be partners in this, and see where we go from there. The state's concern is of wondering if they can partner with us. I really feel like this should be run out of our road department. The road department would hire a jailer or a deputy, not a jailer, but a deputy that has some experience in overseeing those. You know, the typical projects that they're doing is road projects. I mean, they're mowing, they're picking up trash, and so there's a lot of safety issues that our road department staff already has to follow. So we've got some things together. The other thing is funding, and so obviously we're going to talk about that in this upcoming work session to see what we can afford and what we can't afford.
Well, I just think it'd be a good idea that we could get some of those inmates out, and the simple reason is I know coming to court this morning, 2 or 3 road signs, you know, grass is all the way up over top of it. And you know, I know you can't get a mower in there to do what really needs to be done, but you can take a weed eater and 2 or 3 guys and clean the whole thing up and be gone.
Yeah.
And I just think it's another way that we can utilize the people we have in jail, and, but we'll have to work the cost out. I
Yeah.
understand that. And the only other thing I would say is, I want to go on record as saying I support Emerson's project on putting these signs up, because we would only put 4 up. But I understand where the cities are coming from, the memorial signs, because they had so many and it would be a cost. But I want to go on record saying I support that, but I'm not going to make no motion for that.
Yeah. Well, I talked to Emerson about that and told him that obviously even a great place to recognize these, I think they're Vietnam
Yeah.
veterans, right?
Yes.
Would be at our new Veterans Memorial, and they could have their own little display there or
Well, I
whatever,
think we
you know.
might have got a little criticism at the Bria meeting by one individual because we didn't do anything.
We got criticism?
Yes, we did.
Yeah.
But you know, well, I know that, I mean,
Yeah.
you just take
Well,
that.
well, anybody that needs, I mean, my door's open.
I
Anybody,
know that.
a lot of people
I'm
can
just-
speak however they want to
I
speak,
just want to clarify that because.
you know.
I mean, there would probably be some places you probably couldn't put that sign up because of the traffic and the location.
Yeah.
But we're gonna put it where all those people live.
But the whole point of this was everybody agreeing to put up the signs. You know, what's the point of the county putting up 4 of them's names, and then the other, how many ever don't even get recognized,
There
you
were
know?
several in Richmond, several in Brea.
Yeah, so I don't know what slowed it up, you know, I don't know the details of that, but, I mean, I think we were all in agreement to it, but everybody else had to be in agreement to it. So if Brea's not willing, or if Richmond's not willing, then,
I understand that, I just wanted to
so.
comment.
But anybody that wants to criticize me or the fiscal court, I mean, they're more welcome to come to our meeting, or they're more welcome to call me on the phone, you know? I'm very respectful to others and how their feelings are, so we can talk it out.
Other than that, I'm just glad to be here, Judge.
Next on the agenda, comments from audience. Anybody? All right, I need a motion to pay the claims and approve the transfers.
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
No discussion, call the roll, please.
Mr. Barker?
Yes.
Mr. Tudor?
Yes.
Mr. Bodkin?
Yes.
Mr. Combs?
Yes.
Judge Taylor?
Yes. Just another reminder that we do have a work session scheduled for Monday, May 15th at 9:30, which is this coming Monday. And then our next fiscal court meeting will be Tuesday, May the 23rd, 2017 in Richmond. I need a motion second to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Call the roll, please.
Mr. Tudor?
Yes.
Mr. Bodkin?
Yes.
Mr. Combs?
Yes.
Mr. Barker?
Yes.
Judge Taylor?
Yes.